Hi, everyone, and welcome to Implema Talks yet again. I'm here with Susanne Söderholm. We are wanted to kind of tap into some of those use cases or just an example. So for those of you that are out there, maybe you recognize something that you're in need and so on, then just let us know, because this is powerful stuff actually to kind of frame it in one way. But Susanne, who am I talking to? Who do I have here?
Yes, Susanne Söderholm at Implema, business area manager for BI, data and analytics. We are the newest group in the Implema family, I would say, since 1 year. And I'm with my guys are very interested in everything that has to do with analytics and data and AI and machine learning. Yes.
Yeah. And I know that you do a lot of good work with some clients that are not necessarily SAP centric and so on, but just answering questions based on a lot of data from different sources and so on. And we talked about it earlier here. You have Snowflake, Databricks, you have different things, but one, push comes to shove here. What's in it for me if the client, comes around and say, well, Susanne, a lot of good talk here, but why do I need to care? You know?
Good question. I would say, do you have a good, do you understand your business? Are you sure on every figure you can see on operational data? Are you merging it with how many sick leaves or the production line, the warehouse? What's the cost for every product? Are we having margins? That's also the type of businesses that I think that the user in the line of business is more interesting in to understand the whole picture. Because if you go to the sales guy, say, oh, I sold for 2 million. I'm perfectly happy. Okay. When you go to who built the production or the product, they say, oh, we are building this one, but it costs a lot because for example, the gold is expensive or the product silver is expensive. So they don't see the whole picture, because if you go to two different guys, you will get two different answers. So the picture is what's the really truth here, comparing to what you sold and the margin and the production line's costs. So what's the truth? And that is something that often comes up like, I understand now. What's the business? Because there's always like different kinds of businesses understand their business, but they don't see the whole company business, if you know what I mean.
View of it.
Yes, exactly. And that's one of the things that we have done for some of the clients now, having this type of workshop where we talk about getting all the data in one place. So we have it clean, structured, and everyone can look at it and understand it from their type of businesses and have one single truth. Because for some of the clients has one SAP business warehouse, and then you have the data platform outside, but they don't share the same kind of data. So what's the single truth here, and what is understandable for everyone at the company? That's one of the big problem. And then you have the type of company where I have one who is having businesses in whole northern countries and also in Dubai. And they are buying and selling companies back and forth all the time. How do you have control over that? It's better to have all that data clean in a data platform instead of having it try to push it into one of the ERP systems, because that's not the best way to do it. Depending on how long will this company be here, are you selling it off or will you keep it for a long time? And it's easy for maybe the concern to see the total figures, but you can still have the different companies can have their KPIs and they can fill up their things as well at the same time. So I think it's different kind of clients, different kinds of users, but I think it's best to have one data platform where all the data is collected.
Yeah. So if I kind of take that back to my own background, I used to be like a CEO for a company, and one of those things that we measured, we had a business in two different continents in that sense. And we always try to weigh the how much business do we have out of one continent or another. And I mean, if I look at the world today with a lot of men, I guess, or small men or whatever we want to call it, they are out there. They affect a lot of these things that we're talking about. And how do you kind of measure that? And how do you build your business out of risk today, to be honest?
Yes.
So that would be something that your team would come in and say, this is the data. Make your decisions based on proper real data, basically. So
and also help them with the KPIs, because sometimes you're asking different people and they don't have the same KPI for the same measurements, and that's a big
Yeah.
problem. So we maybe help the company to understand the same language and understand the same KPI, that this KPI will be in both countries and it will be measured at the same time in the same way. So we're just not having apples comparing to peers. Instead we have apples to apples. So I think that can be a wake-up call for businesses also, because they need to have a clear view on what the KPIs are and how to measure things. And they don't need not always all have that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I find it very interesting. Like you mentioned, you have a client that is in the Nordics and then Dubai. That's culturally, you know, extremely different countries, but the data is similar, right? And since I would imagine, since it's zero copying and so on, then you avoid legalities. You can pinpoint these KPIs or early warning signals that you need to move in that sense. Yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Susanne. As usual, I'm sure that I'm gonna poke you yet again and say, all right, let's have another conversation because this is really good. All right, thank you very much, and that's until next time, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.